Morning, everyone. Welcome to the April 17th meeting of the Deschutes County Board of Commissioners. Our first order of business is, will you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item this morning is citizen input of anybody that's here on a matter not related to anything on the agenda. Dan, you want to come say something? Okay. So seeing no input for that, the next item is the consent agenda. I read the minutes. Just want to pull item number 12. Read the others. So.
I'll second that.
Or well, just move to approve the
consent minus item 12.
Okay.
And actually 9 was pulled.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So do we need to mention?
Well, maybe
it
it's
too?
now 11, is it? I don't know. 9 was pulled previously, I guess.
Okay, so 9 and 12.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No.
Commissioner Dare?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBonne?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right. Next item we have on the agenda and our action items is a reading of a proclamation recognizing.
Oh, no, stay for the exciting stuff. They're there just in case.
Oh, they were here just in case we didn't approve the consent. So our crowd got smaller. So reading the proclamation, recognizing April 14th to the 20th, which is this week, is National Public Safety Telecommuters Week. And Sarah Cross-White, our interim 911 director, is going to share that with us.
Good morning, Commissioners. Actually, I'm going to put Chris Perry, our operating
All right.
manager, on the spot as well. So we did bring with us Will Mullins and Sue Johnston. Sue is actually a dispatcher. She's our most senior dispatcher on the dispatch floor right now with 22 years on at the district. So she wanted to come and join us and get to see this happen because it's pretty exciting. And I think she wants to retire eventually. So
Oh, okay.
to leave us.
We're not going to take that up today.
Yeah. First, before Chris starts, I just want to say what an awesome group of people we have doing this job. I mean, it's amazing. We've done it. I don't know if I could do it again today. It's, to sit there at a console, be plugged in, listen to people. We are the ears of people, but we can't see. So we're trusting those people on the other end of the line to tell us what's going on, and then we're doing our best job to enter those details and get people there and keep our responders safe. And it's an intense, stressful job, and our people do it well. And, I'm there just to support them, and that's what all the rest of us are there. We've got 34 dispatchers, and we're their support staff. And it's amazing, and I'm proud of everything they do every day. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, if I may share a little bit about our district. 911 staff currently consists of 34 telecommunicators comprised of call takers, fire dispatchers, and police dispatchers. We also have 4 operational dispatch supervisors and 17 administrative and technical staff supporting dispatch operations every day. Last year, our telecommunicators answered 67,000 911 calls and over 168,000 non-emergency calls. We have had an average of a 5% increase in call volume over the last 3 years. 911 dispatchers also handle all radio dispatching duties for 5 police agencies and 9 fire departments across the county. 911 call takers are the first responder and often answering over 100 calls per shift individually and are often a critical component of life-saving efforts and overall public safety in Deschutes County. For telecommunicator this week, in addition to our internal celebration and appreciation efforts, the dispatchers have decided to form a group called DC 911 Cares, and they're participating as a group in various civic outreaches, including charitable giving and service to our community. This month, they're collecting items for a food drive for a local charity called the Giving Plate. We're extremely proud of the work the telecommunicators do across the nation, the state, and at Deschutes 911. Sarah, myself, and all the staff are humbled that the Commission is considering a proclamation again this year. Thanks very much.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you. So a couple things. One, so this new organization, we heard about this yesterday at the user board meeting. Are you going to do a project each month then that you contribute to?
Quarterly.
Quarterly, okay. So can people that aren't in 911 share in your effort? Okay, good.
I believe the staff is sharing that through social media and asking people to join into their.
Join in, okay. Good, that'll be interesting for us to look at. That's great. Well, I'll be the first one up to just say how much we appreciate what all the telecommunicators do and the people on your staff. We get the opportunity to see you in action when we come by and do our departmental visits. It's fairly interesting. I know a lot of people in the public would be interested to see what a dispatch room looks like and the kinds of calls, et cetera. I think one thing that's missed that most people don't, that is really unusual, that we've got a chance to see at the annual banquets, is when you assist in delivering children and that kind of involvement. We know a lot about what people do for emergency response or police and law enforcement, but a lot of people don't realize that you also help do things like deliver babies and other kinds of things to solve people's problems. So it's just, the whole effort's really been great. So thank you for coming. Mr. Dare?
Yes, well, and Will's baby's due next month, so let's hope that Danielle gets to the hospital on time. Yes, when you said they deliver babies, no, they do it through the phone.
Yeah.
So that's, you have to be so calm, and I know my husband, the physician, actually loved attending your dinner that night. I knew it would really grab him because when you've been a physician and you've had to deal with life or death when you are in your practice, it's really incredible. So you do make such a difference here, and I thank you, and I know that we wouldn't be here today without you. So thank you.
Well, and the high survivability of cardiac events and heart attacks. I was down in Salem, and we were at the Association of Oregon Counties, and one of somebody, I don't remember who it was, said, "Oh, Deschutes County, you just got the award for the surviving of heart attack events or cardiac events," and they knew it. There was people around the state that understood that high survivability rate, and that is with the protocols, the response, the support on the phone, just the verbal communication. Okay, let's stabilize the situation, figure out what we can do. Emergency help is on the way. So it's amazing work that you do, and Sue, thank you very much for your efforts over the years. It's exciting, our county-wide district, all the agencies are under it, and everybody works together well. We had our user board meeting, which are the chiefs, the fire chief, police chiefs, sheriff yesterday, but the culture of that organization is very positive, and it works so well for the citizens. So thank you very much for what you do.
Yeah, and just adding one other part that I guess a lot of the community probably doesn't know, that we have a user board made up of all the agencies, and it was really interesting in yesterday's meeting that there was a kind of redundant appreciation for the leadership, but also for the department and how well it's running currently and the ability to solve problems over the last couple of years. So I think the public could be really proud of that as well, and that's all of these individuals as well. So thank you.
Well, and also, Sarah, you just mentioned you don't know that you could step in and do it anymore. The transition of technology, being able to use your cell phone, being able to be anywhere, not just a landline anymore. The new next generation 911, texting for emergency support, all the things that go into it, plus the transition of the radio system, the records management system, and all the different technology that's happening in the background. It's just amazing to be able to stay up on that and be able to proceed.
So our county administrator would like to say something also.
Yeah, I would. Thank you, commissioners. Chris, you mentioned that you're honored to be here. Well, I think we're honored to celebrate this with you. And since I've been in this job, I've had the chance to get to know a little bit about what the telecommunicators, dispatchers do over there. And I mean, talk about a skill set. It's multitasking on steroids to be able to handle multiple calls, while writing and speaking and all that. But beyond that, just the emotional difficulty, that kind of job, and in truly life and death situations for the people who call, the first responders and so forth, to be able to handle all that and still do what you have to do is incredible. It's beyond the scope of what most of us can understand in our daily lives, and it really takes a special person to be able to pull that off. So, I'm personally honored to be able to celebrate all of you, and what you do every single day, 24 hours a day is awesome. So, thank you.
Can I just say one thing? I have a really funny story about my granddaughter. 2 years ago, on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, my granddaughter pressed the emergency button on her phone, and so these numbers kept coming in, and she asked my husband, and of course he said, "Don't answer that, Chloe. We don't know who that is." So in about a half an hour, we had a sheriff's deputy at our front door. It was amazing technology that you think they were actually able to track down where Chloe was and that she was just fine, except she was hysterical because the sheriff was there. So anyway, I just found that fascinating. So thank you for what you guys do.
Thanks. Well, I'll go ahead and read the proclamation now, or I guess do we need to pass this first? I guess so. I'd seek a motion to approve this proclamation.
I move that we pass the proclamation recognizing April 14th to the 20th as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week.
And I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Dare?
Yes?
Commissioner DeBonne?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So I'll go ahead and read that now for the public. And whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and the preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Deschutes County Emergency Communications Center, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, ensuring their safety, and whereas public safety telecommunicators of Deschutes County have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners declare the week of April 14th through April 20th, 2019 to be the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Deschutes County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Should be our county, keep our county and citizens safe. So thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Do we want to get a picture with,
photo.
we don't have a framed proclamation, but I'll bring the paper copy down. Oh, we sign it? Let's sign it and then we'll do it.
There you go. Can you believe that? My granddaughter was hysterically crying. She was, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And
probably
of course,
very
my husband
embarrassing
said, don't
for a
answer the
12-year-old.
phone because, yes.
That's good advice.
Yeah, my husband never answers the phone.
Why don't you three stand in the middle here? Tom, you want to join us?
Thank you so much. 22 years, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, can you get us all in?
You're all in. Look good. All right. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Good, thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming today. Thank you. Joining us. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, thanks for all your work.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, guys.
Commissioner Adair, thanks so much.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, our next item of business is the consideration of a chair signature of document number 2019-221, amendment to tower lease agreement. And Will, are you doing that? Okay. And Sarah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and lead the way.
All right, so this lease agreement, what it is cleaning up an old abatement from back when the sheriff's office owned the radio system. It was part of a 7-site abatement where we kind of bartered with some public carriers like Verizon for use on tower sites. So we gave them access to our tower sites, they gave us access, and the abatement, the way it worked out is there's only one fee after everything was balanced out. That abatement has since dissolved, so now we're going through the individual sites and rewriting the leases for those sites. So this lease agreement here, this modification of this lease agreement is basically Verizon paying us for access to a site, OR6, which is the Lapine Tower.
So they're actually, so this is a multi-use tower then, and we own it? The county does, okay. And so they're just, and how do you get to the 24,000 a year? How do you establish the fair
Market
market?
standard pricing is how we came up with that, the per month fee of 2,000.
That's standard for this type of,
It depends. There's not necessarily a standard. It's based on available real estate, but the market analysis on that tower for the location that Verizon was at currently justified about a $2,000 a month rent.
do they propose the number, or do we propose it, or how do you get there?
We kind of went back and forth on market standard between 1,800 to 2,400, settling on 2,000.
And you said there's some more of these to do for other leases on other,
This is the only one
tower.
for now where will actually be a revenue generation. There are a couple other leases that we're renegotiating, one that we're coming off of completely, and then just fluctuation of prices on the other individual leases where we're paying.
because we don't own those sites, so we do it both ways. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Questions?
All right. So, how many tower sites do we actually own? Do you know?
That 911 is on?
Yeah.
We only own, we're county-owned property and county-owned tower, I believe 2. The majority of it is, there are sites where we have county-owned property, but another owned tower. Aubrey Butte, for example, is one where we're actually on the Department of Forestry's tower. Hamby, which is out at the old fire station off Hamby Road. That's another tower site there where city actually owns the tower.
Owns the tower. So it's kind of just the most effective way to get location each place.
Right.
And then we'll own the tower on overturf, but not the land. Yeah, okay.
We'll own the tower, but lease the land.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Good. Well, request a motion to approve this.
Okay, I move we sign chair signature of document number 2019-221, amendment to tower lease agreement.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Commissioner Dare?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBonne?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that concludes, I think, our designated action items for today. There are a couple of other items. I wanted to have a follow-up with Judith on the STIP proposal, because I know their team is coming back, and I think we didn't really get to vet some of it, and I had mentioned to have Judith join us. We could either do it here or as part of the, upstairs with the executive sessions. But but do you care? Do you want to do it here or upstairs?
Anywhere is fine.
I didn't bring my file for that.
Well, I was just going to have a general discussion.
Oh, okay.
We could do it, well, why don't we adjourn then to upstairs, and we'll just, we had just some questions, and I know they're coming back again next week, but there was some questions that had come up, so.
So I've just got another item,
Okay.
a couple of items. So Central Oregon Health Council, Commissioner Dare and myself both had joined the Central Oregon Health Council meeting last week. And since then, it was pointed out that, so Donna Mills sent an email, I think I forwarded it to Tom or whatever, but the concept of when they do the CCO 2.0 application, their goal is to have a commissioner appointed from Deschutes County instead of to be determined, because that's the way their board looks right now. So it's just notification to all of us. They're real excited about having the appointment.
How soon will that agreement?
I don't remember the date, but I think it's in the next month or so,
Yeah,
just
we should-
finalizing it.
Probably resolve that.
But that's their goal at this point, is to have a name on that in their application. Also, Upper Deschutes River Communities, used to be UDRC Coalition, is asking for commissioners to join on June 20th meeting. So I don't know that I'm available for that date. You might have seen that. Yeah, so it's just, it's a
I'm not
call
available
out in the
that day
future.
either.
I am.
1 week I know I'm not here.
And
I'm available that day.
every year they kind of ask, just to get an update of what's going on and then have people ask of commissioners. So if you're interested in doing that,
That'd be, yeah. that'd be
it's kind of an update from the county, but also an open question and answer session for the group. So, and we've done that
good.
before.
We've both done it before, and I would like to do it. I just can't, that's the 1 week I know I'm not going to be here
Okay.
this summer, so.
And I've got something on my schedule. I forget what it is, but I'm going to be in another meeting that day.
No, I have
that
Black Butte
time.
at noon, and then I will be going to it.
Okay.
Sharon and I already worked it out, so.
So, yeah, Monty Damerall had asked me
Well, yes.
for confirmation. He's just into scheduling his future meetings.
Another kind of heads up, two heads up. I met yesterday with representatives of the Soil and Water Conservation District. Yes, Commissioner Dare, they'd already met with Commissioner Dare, and I think they're going to meet with you. Talk about some of the challenges that they have with regard to funding. Kind of like what we saw with the court system not being funded at the state level. There hasn't been an increase as the state's grown. The Department of Agriculture has not increased funding of the conservation, Soil and Water Conservation District beyond about an $80,000 amount for many years. It probably should be $150,000 if you just kept up with growth of this county and the state. And so they probably be meeting with you to talk about what options they might have, et cetera. And I invited them to, once they've done that, to come to one of our work sessions to talk about specific projects they've done, so we have a better feel for that. So I think that'll be helpful. The other thing that, just so you know, it's on the agenda, is we're going to have a meeting with regard to the stabilization center with some representatives from the hospital on Tuesday. I've met with Dr. Conway a little bit about the makeup of that meeting. I think our idea was to follow up on the idea of what will be their interest and level of support going forward. I think they're going to be asked to describe kind of what the current set of plans are. And I'd said, well, to Dr. Conway, well, why don't you kind of come up with where you are right now in the planning, and with the caveat that we're still getting some information. We're going to meet to make final decisions, but really the goal is to see the level of interest or support from the hospital and talk about what their needs are. And so that's coming up next Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to that as a chance to get the help we've talked about from them. And Dr. Conway is also, so that's another meeting that's coming up. So anything else? Any other meetings or updates?
Well, I've had a lot of meetings, but let's see, something appropriate for this group. Well, we do have to talk about naming something at the county fair in honor of Dan, and he said he did not want the turkey barn. So, but yeah, he doesn't like the turkeys, but the pigs he thought were really nice, especially the piglets. So anyway,
Maybe
that might be
Tom
kind of
can
fun.
Supervise a committee to do that.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, I mean, which would be kind of,
I didn't know we were doing that. So is that a tradition, or is that,
no,
are we going to do that? I mean, that's a,
I'm just
I
for
think
you
she
to,
was teasing, but if you'd like us to look into that, we can.
well, I mean, we should, I mean, he's, 20 years is a big time, and he's leaving the fair in great,
Yeah, yeah.
in great shape. And I think, are we doing some special closing ceremony for his career
really
here?
should, yeah.
So, and
We have the opening ceremony at the fair itself, where we.
he's not going to be here for that.
So he's going to be gone before that.
He's going
so,
to Northern Europe. So we'd have to do it before then.
Yeah.
No, but he.
Yeah, well, that's,
No, but he-
people don't always have those choices.
You don't get what you,
It's like birthday parties you don't want, or,
yes,
sometimes it's,
yes.
like Eric should have one as he's entered, old
So I
old
do
age, so-
think
well, that's
we
a good
should, I think
point.
we should name something there for him, because, yes, it wasn't, it was something he wanted, but I think he would be really touched.
Okay, good, well, that's good.
And just not the turkey barn.
Okay,
One more note.
yeah.
Oregon Cybersecurity Council is a statewide group. It was set up by the governor's office. A lot of industry, education, and government and I was appointed by AOC for this. It was a process where they were asking. I had done a little bit of homework, and I offered to be available for it. It was at the board meeting last month that it was on the board meeting, not the legislative one, but the one after. And the first meeting was today, so I was introduced to the group. So I'm not sure if it's an appointment by the governor, if it's final or not, but it looks like it's happening. So, I dialed in.
We'll do a
for an hour this
proclamation
morning.
if you'd like.
Well, I'm just letting you know, so it could, yeah. And it was on a Wednesday morning, so I was able to dial in for an hour this morning. So we'll see if there's direct conflicts or not in the future. And it's always a meeting in Portland, but I'll invite everybody here someday soon also.
Good. Good. Well, that's great news. There was, I guess I'd also mention the meeting on the infra grant seemed to have gone very positively with Congressman Walden and the representatives from the city and ODOT, et cetera, and there's going to be some follow-up on that, but everything was pretty encouraging about helping get that money. So, and I really pushed the importance of it to the county, and I think that helps with us when we get to decision makers in Washington. It's not just one city, but it's the multiple counties. So
There's some good media coverage on that. So
there was. That's so good. Okay. Any other items? Dave, do you have anything?
Do not.
Okay.
Eric, Tom? Okay, well, we'll adjourn and reconvene upstairs for executive sessions and
Do you want to do stiff first or the executive?
down.